programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
I forgot the video. There we go. You're back with David Mackey's Shiny Side Out on Revolution Radio, the #1 listener-supported talk radio on the net. So push the donate button and subscribe to the archives for free. Get yourself some great merchandise from the station's website. I can do everything myself. A t-shirt, a mug, or anything you like. And thanks for listening to Revolution Radio. We are halfway through show number 683. Can you believe it? 380 and 600. And we're talking about, and I say we, Shiny Side Out is the other entity in this conversation. Meckie's currently traveling. He's flown into somewhere, just landed from somewhere. Good on him. If only I could be doing that again. That's right. I ask the universe, hopefully it will provide. That's the way I see life. And I also have to include others that because they won't know about that requirement. So I still have to apply for roles out there. This is Mind Control Part 6. And I'm just going to burn through the text until the end of the hour. If you don't know about mind control, there are some things that are going to be upsetting to you. If you're a host of Revolution Radio, you might have already taken the government to court to fight what you found out was occurring. We're not talking about that at the moment, but I just want to say, mind control is a real thing. Montauk is real. All the documents were thought to be destroyed by employees of Montauk at the end of the program. However, there was a box that was mislabeled, and they found, I think, something like 70,000 documents or something. It was still described a reasonable amount of projects that they undertook, to the depth they undertook them, the results of those, and how much was thrown to the wind. Care was thrown to the wind. In one case, they administered LSD. I'm just going to put the warning screen back up again. They administered LSD to unknowing participants in an unknown trial, and those people were said to have taken their own life. That's it. Or unalived themselves. Who knows? It might not have been the case. They might have been unalived by someone in the project. Who knows? But I'll tell you, you're not going to be a very sane person if you're administered something against your knowledge and believing and attempting. Imagine, first thing you do, you try to attempt to describe what's going on to somebody else, a medical professional, and then they're going to just look at you and give you a bit of side eye, and then write you up to go and get those wraparound jackets and live in, that peaceful Lawns estate, taking the red pills for the rest of your life. You don't get out of those places willingly. Even once they've found proof, because I'm sure there's money, they'd be privately run, there'd be a government program funding them, and they'd be paid per inmate, let's call it inmate, and as long as they can keep you drugged up enough to never pass an exit exam, then their funding is maintained. Think about how evil that sounds. I'm not saying it's true. The Montauk thing was true, and the administering of drugs to people who didn't get permission was also true. according to the documents that we found. But who knows what had actually happened because of all the other documents that were destroyed. You've got to think about how bad half of this is. All right, so this one here is called the first point of order today. New technology to control the brain using magnetic fields developed. It means that they've done it. It's called Nano-MIND in capitals. Nanomind technology for wireless control of brain circuits with potential to modulate emotions, social behaviors, and appetite. There is a link. Let me say copy hyperlink, and I'm going to pop it into the chat. And if you don't know, if you're listening to this on YouTube or anywhere else, Rumble or Spotify for that matter, you can join us in the chat room. The links are there below. Links are below the video. And you can join us while we're on air, and you can talk to us via messaging. And we can see it, we can reply, and you can comment as we're talking, which is fantastic. What a great medium this is. Now, I've just copied in the link to peer-reviewed publication, Institute for Basic Science. And there's an image, so I'll put a little screen thing up here. You can see the same show notes that we're using. This says diverse types of neurons, selective expression of magnetoreceptors, and there's magnetic apparatus going on here, selective control, specific neural circuits, and they've got sociality, emotion, and motivation. These are the things. So social interaction, parenting, and eating is what they were testing. And it says the image, I can turn it back off again. Using nanomind technology, higher order brain functions such as emotions, sociability, and survival instincts in animals can be freely regulated through selective control of specific neurons and brain circuits. This enables the discovery of roles and operating principles of various brain circuits, which is essential for brain science research and can be utilized for AI technology and advancement through the construction of better artificial neural networks. That's all they're saying is if we learn how it works, then we can build an AI that's better. And I'm also going to copy this link. Every single link that I have, I will paste into the chat room. And voila. Conduct Detrimental in the chat room says they don't need to microchip anyone anymore. That's right. They can do it with Wi-Fi already. Can they do it with 5G or 6G or whoever? GG. Can they? We can't find anything on that. We can presume it is, and there's a lot of people talking about 5G. But I know 5G, there's 3 different frequencies that are used. One of them up in the 90s, 92 kilohertz, is really bad for skin depth. So that can make it like you're on fire, which is interesting. I had a premonition from still reoccurring premonition for my entire life about at one point it feels like our bones are on fire inside us. It's so painful and you do anything to get away from that feeling, but it's occurring inside buildings and places. So is there something that an effect causing it that I'm unaware of? Yes, it appears that way. There was no directed energy weapon or anything pointed at me in my premonitions, but all of the other, say, let's call it 10 prior premonitions to that have all come true. And there's no rhyme or reason to the length of time between them. Makes no sense to me, but they're in sequential order and we've gone through all those phases. So The next one seems to be large fire. This is separate from the notes. Large fire that seems to burn all of the atmosphere. All of it. There's this roaring sound as the flame goes through the air. And at the same time, it feels like your bones are on fire. And the only thing underground, you could be underground. You could be up against, just really super thick I-beams that found some relief in the open or beneath foliage of a tree. It made no difference. It was agonizing. What long-term effect there was, I don't know. But the next thing that's after that occurrence is people putting makeup, like ladies putting makeup on to hide their skin burning. And why they would do that, I don't know. Why would there still be society after this? What was the goal of the person doing it? Was it to appear not burnt, or just kind of for themselves, not to feel like they'd been burnt, and socially interact with others who you would know that have been burnt as well, but rather than talking about that bad thing that's just happened, rather be able to socially mingle with people and kind of forget it, at least for one time. That's the way that I felt that was. Anyway, back to the notes. Welcome to Dave's spiraling or death spiral of fear of the future. Who knows? Credit. It's only my premonition. It's not what I think in real life. Institute for Basic Science. Researchers at the Center for Nanomedicine within the Institute for Basic Science, IBS, that's not irritable bowel syndrome, and Yonsei University in South Korea have unveiled a groundbreaking technology that can manipulate specific regions of the brain using magnetic fields. Potentially, did I say it right? Put another N in there. I'll fix it in post. Potentially unlocking the secrets of high-level brain functions technologies such as cognition, emotion, and motivation. The team has developed the world's first nanomind magnogenetic interface for neurodynamics. This is a technology which allows for wireless, remote, and precise modulation of specific deep brain neural circuits using magnetism. The human brain contains over 100 billion neurons interconnected in a complex network. Controlling the neural circuits well, there's a full stop there. The text is so small on the screen. That's okay. There we go. That's fixed. All right. Controlling the neural circuits is crucial for understanding higher brain functions like cognition, emotion, and social behavior, as well as identifying the causes of various brain disorders. Novel technology to control brain functions also has implications for advancing brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs, such as those being developed by Neuralink, which aim to enable control of external devices through thought alone. While magnetic fields have long been used in medical imaging due to their safety and ability to penetrate biological tissue, precisely controlling brain circuits with magnetic fields has been a significant challenge for scientists. Researchers at the IBS have successfully developed a cutting-edge magnetogenetics technology called Nanomind, which enables wireless and remote control of specific brain regions to modulate complex brain functions such as emotions, social behaviors, and motivation in animals. This advanced technology leverages magnetic fields and magnetized nanoparticles to selectively activate targeted brain circuits. The key innovation lies in the selective expression of nanomagneto receptors in specific neural types and brain circuits and activating them with rotating magnetic fields at precise moments, allowing for spatiotemporal control of neural activity. First, the NanoMind technology demonstrated its capability by selectively activating inhibitory GABA receptors in the medial preoptic area, MPOA, which is responsible for maternal behaviours. Activation of these neurons in non-maternal female mice significantly increased nurturing behaviours, such as bringing pups to their nest, similar to maternal mice. Additionally, the technology was used to regulate feeding behaviours by targeting motivation circuits in the lateral hypothalamus. Activation of inhibitory neurons within these areas resulted in a 100% increase in appetite and feeding behaviours in mice. Conversely, activating excitatory neurons led to a more than 50% reduction in appetite and feeding behaviours. These results show that NanoMind technology can selectively activate desired brain circuits to biodirectionally modulate higher brain functions, paving the way for advancements in neuroscience and potential therapeutic applications. Director Cheon Jinwoo of the Center for Nanomedicine stated, quote, "This is the world's first technology to freely control brain regions using magnetic fields. We expect it to be widely used in research to understand brain functions, sophisticated artificial neural networks, two-way BCI technologies, and new treatments for neurological disorders." End quote. This study was published in Nature Nanotechnology on July 2nd, 2023. And now the journal, Nanotechnology. I hope you've taken a breath. I'm going to put the link once again into the chat room. Et voilà, monsieur, madame, and the like. Scientist. This is from the 1st of June 2024 by Noor Al-Sibai. I'm just going to put a little screenshot of that up on page so you can find this for yourselves. I've put a link to this in the chat room. Scientists concerned about devices that literally read your mind. Quote, "If we lose our mental privacy, what else is there to lose?" Question mark. End quote. As the world inches ever closer to mind-reading technology, some scientists are calling to legally enshrine the right to keep our thoughts to ourselves. Of course, that's never going to happen. For future crime, that's what's going to happen. In interviews with Undark, neuroscientists, including those who are working to make these so-called brain-computer interfaces, or the BCIs, happen, revealed their concern about the devices. One in particularly telling exchange, a pair of researchers from University of Texas at Austin who've successfully created a BCI that can rudimentarily translate brainwaves into text, described how it felt to realize their device was actually reading their thoughts. I can't swear on this radio station, but it's, let's say, oh boy, or oh dear. That's my translation of it. UT neuroscientist Alex Huth, who had been working on BCIs for almost a decade when he achieved a breakthrough in 2020, recalled exclaiming, "This is actually working," unquote. For Huth, the moment was especially strange because he'd often tested the devices on himself. "Oh my God," the neuroscientist thought. Per his retelling to Undark, "We can look inside my brain," unquote. Huth's BCI at UT is far from the only one to manage the feat of mind reading. However, primitively. Indeed, although BCIs have been around for various experimental forms for half a century, there have been reports in recent years of other researchers creating fledgling devices that can quite literally read the thoughts of the wearer. While this tech will invariably help people who cannot speak or type due to medical issues communicate, concerns about mental surveillance, a la Big Brother, are very real. To address them, some experts have begun championing so-called neuro rights, or the right to mental privacy. I'm just going to put the letter Y at the end and a full stop. That's better. I've got an OCD. I clearly do. Quote, "The loss of mental privacy. This is a fight we have to fight today," unquote. Columbia neuroscientist Raphael Youst, who initially worked on BCI research before realizing its dangers, told the website, quote, "That could be irreversible. If we lose our mental privacy, what else is there to lose? That's it. We lose the essence of who we are," unquote. Along with human rights attorney Jared Genser, Youst founded the Neuro Rights Foundation in 2017 following an intensive workshop at Columbia from which the causes human rights framework emerged. Thus far, the group has helped pass a constitutional amendment passed in Chile, petitioned in the United Nations, and been the subject of a Werner Herzog documentary. But its founder worries that this still may not be enough as the technology continues to progress. The moment, and this is outside of the notes now, this is my thoughts. The moment that anyone has the tech to do it 100%, it won't be ours to control anymore. It'll be theirs to run. Along with quote, "When this tsunami hits us, I would say it's not likely, it's for sure, that humans will end up transforming themselves, ourselves, into maybe a hybrid species," he told Undark. Huth and his team, for their part, have been testing whether BCI brain reading could be resisted, but even he appreciates the dangers that could well lie ahead. I like the lie part. Quote, "I think the range of reasonable possibilities includes things that are, I don't want to say like scary enough, but like dystopian enough that I think it's certainly a time for us to think about this," he said. And that comes from this link, copy hyperlink. For those in the chat room, you get to benefit greatly from these links. So if you listen to this, do join us in the chat room. This next story by Bowles, or Cy Bowles, Harvard staff writer, March 10, 2025, says life-changing brain tech, but with a chilling caveat. Fellow's paper finds a warning in dark chapter of US history. On January 28, 2024, Noland Arbau became the first person to receive a brain chip implant from Neuralink, the neurotechnology company owned by Elon Musk. The implant seemed to work. Arbau, who is paralyzed, learned to control a computer mouse with his mind and even to play online chess. The device is part of a class of therapeutics, brain-computer interfaces, BCIs, that show promise for helping people with disabilities. Control prosthetic limbs, operate a computer, translate through their thoughts directly into speech, etc. Current use of the technology is limited, but with millions of global cases of spinal cord injuries, strokes, and other conditions, some estimates put the market for BCIs at around $400 billion in the US alone. A new discussion paper from Carr Center for Human Rights welcomes the potential benefits, but offers a note of caution drawn from the past, detailing unsettling parallels between an era of new therapies and one of America's darkest chapters, experiments into psychological manipulation and mind control. Here's a quote. In the past, there have been actors who were interested in controlling people's minds. Lucas Meyer, the paper's author and now a fellow at the Edmund and Lily Safra Center for Ethics, said in an interview, quote, "It's not implausible that in the future there will be such actors at whichever level, state or private sector, who might attempt the same but with improved technology," unquote. Quote, again, it isn't, that's right, that's what it, yeah, it's just been put in there twice, that's good. I can get rid of that one. Lucas Meyer. Meyer is a former technology and human rights fellow at the Carr Center, CARR, was referencing the Cold War when scientists on both sides of the Iron Curtain participated in a dangerous race for control of the human mind. In 1953, in response to allegations that the North Korean, Chinese, and Soviet governments had successfully brainwashed American prisoners of war, then CIA Director Alan Dulles authorized MK Ultra, the CIA's controversial attempt at eliciting confessions and controlling people's behavior. Quote, "This was indeed their aim. They just didn't get very far as we know," Meyer said. And that's the reason for that is that most of the documents were destroyed. According to Meyer's report, in one project, subjects were made to listen to recordings on a loop, including during drug-induced sleep, in an attempt to alter their personalities. In another experiment, subjects were given strong electric shocks multiple times a day for weeks at a time, sometimes while they were on psychoactive drugs. Some subjects lost key memories or even the ability to speak a second language. Some lost the ability to walk or eat without support. Many suffered lifelong physical or mental consequences. The CIA's methods were crude, Meyer said, but if the more advanced methods of the 21st century steer clear of the worst effects of MK Ultra, they have the same implications for self-determination, consent, and mental privacy. For instance, parents in China sounded the alarm in 2019 over school children wearing devices that track their brainwaves to improve their focus. In more theoretical applications, researchers have explored reconstructing images from the brain signals of people wearing BCIs. I've actually, this is just me reading this, no longer in the show notes. I've seen those results are quite good. I mean, quite good. If someone was attempting to conceal something, but as you were, say they were in the stand and you were cross-examining them, you could run through the scenario and see at what points that person was attempting to deceive. I like the idea of it, but if you're a creative mind, you might be just picturing what the person is telling you rather than recalling the events as a first person. That's really interesting. I hope that this is all tested and works perfectly. Not if, but when it's deployed. I've got two quotes here. I think they are identical, so I can get rid of one of them. There we go. With these with these technological capabilities, we move dangerously close to inadvertently enabling one of the main goals of Cold War intelligence programs, the eliciting of information from subjects who are not willfully cooperating, says Meyer. Meyer speculates that in addition to decoding our thoughts, BCIs could be used to change our behaviour. He describes research showing that some patients receiving deep brain stimulation for Parkinson's disease experience manic symptoms, including in a 2006 case in which a patient with no previous criminal record broke into a parked car when the stimulator was activated, then returned to normal when the stimulation stopped. Making somebody without any criminal record break into a car seems to be a pretty strong interference, he said, adding, "We're not at a point where you could create this effect at will. It can happen as a byproduct, but I don't think anyone could predict which type of neuromodulation applied to which area of the brain could produce this effect, at least not with any accuracy," unquote, from Meyer. Despite Meyer's misgivings, he supports the continued development of BCI technology in the US, in part to stay ahead of global adversaries. And here's a very long quote. It says, it's from Meyer. "It is during times like these, in particular, the technological innovations which are becoming available to the opposing parties are at high risk of being misused in order to gain an advantage," unquote. He writes in a paper, "The dire consequences of the manifold attempts at developing techniques for mind control during the Cold War should act as a warning. The two dangerous ingredients are recurring a resurgence of block confirmation and the availability of innovations employable for interfering with human brain. We may not be able to rely on technological limitations thwarting efforts at mind control a second time." So despite all my reading errors through that block of text, you can see that if we didn't learn the first time, let's hope we've learned that for a second time. We don't do the same things. I'm going to put that link into the chat room. Making good time. Mind control has arrived. Can you guess its future? This is by Barbara Pfeffer Bilauer. That's better. JD, MA, Occupational Health, PhD. This is March 20th, 2025. It's only a month ago, or less than a month ago, this article. Elon Musk's Neuralink may be the latest headline grabber, but brain-to-computer interface BCI technology has been advancing for decades. Initially developed for therapeutic use, it is now poised to enhance the worried Wells' cognition, memory, and emotional states. So, what happens when machines don't just read our minds, but start writing them? Musk's Neuralink is hardly the first company to use BCI technology, says Barbara. So why is it now making headlines? Perhaps because its CEO intends to expand its use beyond the realm of the therapeutic, e.g. improving the life of a person with quadriplegia, making it to anyone sufficiently cash-worthy seeking to upgrade mental function. The implications transcend dystopian science fiction. Once upon a time, cyborgs, modern mythological creatures merging machine and man, were a fictional creation of novelist Martin Caidin, reminiscent of the half-human, half-horse centaur. The most lifelike it got were two TV shows, The $6 Million Man and The Bionic Woman, in the 1970s. Both shows I loved. These imaginary iterations involved upgrading human physical prowess with technological advanced bionic limbs and eyesight and hearing. By 2004, the first human cyborg machine-man interface made history when an antenna was attached to the skull of the colour-blind Neil Harbisson, enabling him to hear colours through vibrations. In 2014, the FDA approved the first BCI-enhanced exoskeletons, Goliath suits that patients with spinal cord injuries could don to facilitate walking. Improvements continue. On March 13th of this year, that's 2025, the FDA approved Lifewood's Rewalk exoskeleton number 7 for navigating curbs and stairs. Let me just copy that link. Let's hope that link exists. Do tell me if the link doesn't work in the chat. However, like most technology, in addition to therapeutic benefits, the device has potential uses, including body armor, providing unrivaled strength, speed, and power for military ground forces in battle. You can imagine being able to carry, 30-kilo pack, but not get tired at all, just needing a recharge. Exciting, I suspect, for the military. Current cyborg research centers on brain implants. The first BCI was implanted in the 1990s. The technology involves inserting a chip or electrodes into the brain or affixing them to the scalp to convey signals to paralyzed users. It enables the direction of limited, primarily upper body movement and speech through thought-interfaced computers or robotics. In 2016, Elon Musk launched Neuralink. Its technology centered on the robotic implantation of tiny electronic threads capable of transferring a high volume of data via thousands of electrodes. It took another 7 years for Neuralink to secure FDA approval for human experimentation. 3 people have had Musk's device safely implanted with some slight glitches. The first could play video games, browse the internet, post on social media, and move a cursor on his laptop using thought alone. The second patient graduated to creating 3D images. Last month, that would be February this year, Neuralink's third patient entered its new Convoy study, testing the feasibility of brain-controlled assistive robotic devices to allow folks who are paralyzed to feed themselves and move personal objects. Neuralink's dilemma: an apprentice out of control. The research sounds relatively benign. However, the technology moves in both directions, brain to computer and computer to brain, and therein lies potential ethical dilemmas. By eavesdropping on the activity of nearby brain cells and transmitting the information gathered to a computer, the brain chip can control a computerized robot or voice synthesizer. That means that not only can the brain direct a computer-mediated response, but the computer can direct the brain, potentially mediating the brain's host thoughts and feelings, which may in turn direct a computer or robot, conceivably to perform unsavory feats. Neuroscientist Raphael Youst, head of Neuroscience Center at Columbia University, suggests that technology can manipulate brain activity to make the mind believe it was seeing things it wasn't. This used to be called psychosis, akin to implanting hallucinations directly into someone's consciousness, faster than the eye can see. Imagine if you could think into the machine like a high-speed connection directly between your mind and your machine. That's a quote from Elon Musk. With a computer interface capacity of astoundingly high velocity and data volume transfer, Musk claims augmented intelligence is in reach, along with a capacity for humans to control robots, or even other humans, with lightning speed, as Musk writes. This quote, it sounds like it's Musk. This means humans could interact with technology as fast as we think, far beyond the speed of typing or speaking. Neuralink users would or wouldn't just control devices with their thoughts. With precision and speed approaching natural brain function, it's not just about restoring lost functions by creating a new kind of human-machine symbiosis, where humans don't just use devices, but integrate with them. Where we directly control computers and collaborate with artificial intelligence using only thought. This is not just an evolution of technology, but a redefinition of human capability. Future super shock. Musk is no longer concerned solely with with disabilities. He has the human species in sight, boasting that his long-term goal is to achieve symbiosis with artificial intelligence. Within 5 years, he forecast 1 million healthy human users. Within 2 decades, he foresees hundreds of millions of people with implanted Neuralink with superhuman abilities. Indeed, work has been done to stimulate cognition in Alzheimer's patients with cognitive enhancements of 30%. Legalities and ethics of the augmented human. The staggering ethical and legal implications are reminiscent of issues triggered by gene editing for cognitive enhancement to unleash human potential rather than therapeutic purposes. The problems are diverse. Here are some. Selective ability. The technology will be pricey, affordable only by the wealthy, creating disproportionate cognitive enhancement by social and economic class. Algorithmic bias. The training is based on a subset of society and designed by another, primarily young white men. It raises concerns that implantees may begin to think like their programmer or the underlying data model, implanting social biases directly into our minds. Perhaps the concern epitomizes the refrain, garbage in, garbage out. Privacy. These concerns will exponentially explode as outsiders gain access to our neural data. Current commercialized technologies exploiting only our actions often contain unread user agreements, allowing the information to be sold to the highest bidder, like an insurance company or the North Korean army. An assault on someone's psyche, a subset of bodily autonomy, would be considered an intentional tort, even a battery. Somehow that concern isn't even raised. There is concern about hacking by force, by dark forces, cyber attacks on our health systems and medical devices, like fetal and baby monitors, and even ubiquitous Apple Watch have already happened. Sabotaging neural computer security is not a matter of if, it is when. The dangers of enhanced memory transcend social justice concerns, demonstrating the siloed thinking of entrepreneurs not versed with neurobiology. The goal, as apparently envisaged by Musk, is total recall. This is neither good nor healthy, says the article creator. Active forgetting, along with attention, acquisition, and consolidation, is part of the brain's biological system for managing memories. The biological role of forgetting remains under scientific investigation. Recent sleep studies demonstrate the brain must purge unnecessary memories to keep from overloading, like a hard drive exceeding its memory capacity. Computerized memory enhancement does not discern which memories to keep and which to jettison, not only for optimal cognitive processing, but for the sake of salvaging the psyche. The total recall would likely be a curse rather than a benefit, Musk conjures. We are entering the brave, unregulated new world of mind control without legal restraint or international limitations. Technologists argue that regulation will hamper innovation, but once created, technology is akin to Pandora's box, a gift carrying the curse of curiosity, unwittingly unleashing unimaginable horrors. The goal of human enhancement is riddled with noble aspirations and anticipated profits, along with an alarming lack of oversight. Will the same companies enlarging their coffers by tracking our every click, swipe, and purchase, controlling the technology that can rewrite memories, influence thoughts, and manipulate emotions? In the rush to marry AI, we risk becoming something less human, not more. Perhaps more ominous is the accompanying hubris. In the future, technologically enhanced thinking will make it so. It seems we are about to one-up God. Even he had to use speech to will things into existence. That's pretty crazy. It's got 2 points here. It says, in 2010, Harbison created the Cyborg Foundation to assist humans in becoming cyborgs, promoting the use of cybernetics as part of the human body and defend cyborg rights. Number 2, because of concerns over cyber attacks, Vice President Cheney's heart defibrillator had to be modified before being implanted to avoid the risk of it being hacked by terrorists who targeted his life. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, this link goes into the chat room. Don't forget you're missing out. Oh, do like, share, subscribe, and comment on any of our videos found on any platform, please. We need more people to follow us in order for us to at least make 8 cents that we've made on Rumble so far. But let's see if we can get to 1,000, if we can, please. Now, mind control patents. Mekki says he tried to find some information on patents relating to mind control. That's like devices and processes, etc. And this site came up. This site is only found in archive.org. And I'm going to paste it here. And this is what he found. It says, unable to connect. Firefox can't establish a connection to the server. The site could be temporarily unavailable, blah, blah, blah. So he went to Wayback Machine, because this is a link that we had in our show notes from a while back. And that link is now put in there. And it says there's 40 mind control patents. Hypnotic inducer mind control machine, Carlin, 1956. There's another. I'll put them on the screen. That's easier. I'll just read them out anyway. In 1958, apparatus for producing visual stimulation, subconscious transmission via movie film, Corrigan and all. In 1958, again, apparatus for producing visual and auditory stimulation, subconscious transmission via TV. 1962, nervous system excitation device. In 1967, that's when I was born, method and apparatus for improving neural performance in human subjects by electrotherapy. I don't like that ECT. Hearing systems, 1970. That's RF and microwave. Method of and apparatus for producing swept frequency modulated audio signal patterns for inducing sleep. brain frequency broadcasting. That's 1971. Number 8, method of inducing and maintaining stages of sleep in the human being. FFR, frequency following response microwave. 1970. Oh, that's not in order. That doesn't matter. Number 9. Number 9. Apparatus and method for remotely monitoring and altering brainwaves. RF electromagnetic waves. 1974. 1980, device for the induction of specific brainwave patterns. 1980 again, auditory subliminal message system and method. Subliminal brainwash via music or other sound. Method of changing a person's behavior, subconscious brainwash via video, 1986. 1987, auditory subliminal programming system, silent brainwash via music or other sound. Number 14, apparatus for inducing frequency reduction in brain waves, FFR, brain frequency transmission, 1985 that was. 15, I've got 4 minutes left. Microwave hearing device, 1983. Number 16, 1988 this is, hearing device, microwave hearing via open air broadcast. Number 17, method and apparatus for changing brain wave frequency. That was Carter in 1990. Silent subliminal presentation system, aka silent sound microwave, 1989. Method of and apparatus for inducing desired states of consciousness, FFR EEG waveforms by broadcast, 1991. Subliminal acoustic manipulation of nervous systems, 1997. Method and system for warning birds of hazards, microwave hearing, 1997. Acoustic heterodyne device and method, ultrasound ventriloquist effect, 1996. It must be you hear the voice in your own head or something. Communication system and method inducing brain wave analysis and or use of brain activity, remote viewing, 1998. I'm not even going to get through these. Apparatus and method of broadcasting audible sound using ultrasonic sound as a carrier, 1998. I remember that was around about the time that that Bill Gates, at his house, I was told, had a system of being able to play the music you like just to you, and the emitters would follow you. They'd track you and push this ultrasound device and deliver music to your own head, your music to your own head. All the pictures on the walls would be the art that you prefer. No one else could see your one. Number 25, method and device for implementing the radio frequency hearing effect, microwave hearing, US Air Force, 1992. Apparatus for audibly communicating speech using the radio frequency hearing effect. So they made the hearing effect and they wanted to make a way of being able to transmit it. That took them 10 years it took them to do that. RFID tracking of patient-specific orthodontic materials, 2004. Identification system and methods, RFID attached to dental structure, 2011. AI probe system, A1 probe system for electron spin resonance imaging. Wasn't it Philips? I worked for a company that did that. NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance field frequency lock system. Interesting. Still 2 minutes left. Method of electron spin resonance, enhanced magnetic resonance imaging. World Intellectual Property Organization, method and apparatus for measuring electron spin, systems and methods for stimulation of neuronal activity, method and apparatus of pulsed infrared light for the inhibition of central nervous system's neurons. Was that like an Apple iPhone thing? I've seen that. Stimulation method, the sphenopalatine ganglia and nerve or Vidian nerve for treatment of medical condition and sarenia. Interferomic for interferometric signal processing apparatus. And what else do we have? Probe for detecting a transient magnetic resonance, detecting targeted species having quadrupolar nuclei, good detection of explosive and narcotics by low power, large sample volume nuclear quadruple resonance, and the last one, transmitter and receiver of nuclear magnetic resonance. Do follow us on everything you find our videos on, please, and do actually send a message. I'll reply to each one of them. Love your work, be safe, and we'll catch you Tuesday and Thursday mornings US time, 7 a.m. for Plato's Cave, and we'll see you next week for another Shiny Side Out.